Hey Creed, can you take me higher?
Not much for a city boy, but the women I find in my sauce is soy. Can't call myself a countryman, cause I sit on my don't work my land. One of these days I'll give a damn. Till then, well, I am what I am. Just call me a New York redneck. Where's the banjo, play that Bella thing, yeah. And I might be high class, but my liquor is more. They took my land, so it ain't my fault. Just call me a New York redneck. Ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Finna bet on some horses at the track. Drive into Brooklyn, ain't never coming back. Tim's on the ground in the concrete jungle. I might get into a little rumble. Ain't nothing but a high-tailing man, bred on the farm, so I work with my hands. Just call me a New York redneck.
All right. How's everybody doing out there? How y'all doing? I am Dan, back with another episode of the Sportsman Dan Show. Sorry, I was caught a little off guard there. As you can see, that is the first time I've used the intro video, so please let me know how y'all like it. As you guys saw, obviously, I was in awe. No, I did it today, so I'm still biased. I just watched that video at least 70 times in a row, so I can't tell if it's good or not at this point. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. Pretty eventful day. If you guys are aware, in the football world, Joe Brady, William & Mary alum, one of the better schools in the 757. Joe Brady was named the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. This was a move I did not see coming. A lot of Bills fans I know did not see coming. It is interesting. Sean McDermott, also a William & Mary alum, brought in Joe Brady and kind of brought in his replacement, it seems. That's the way it goes in football sometimes. Not going to talk too much about that because, let's just say I have some special guests coming up. So we will dive more into football talk and some other things there. I'm coming at you with episode 4. Really just some hobby talk and a few other things I wanted to touch on. I want to be consistent with my posting. But again, I'm not just going to put content out there just to put content out there. I'd like to actually have something to say. It was kind of interesting for my most recent card show. A lot of people were asking about Connor Griffin, who, go figure, is the current number 1 prospect. So it makes sense that a lot of people are asking for Connor Griffin cards when he's arguably the next big thing in baseball. I was also watching a Cage Lawyer video on Instagram. You guys are probably familiar with him. He's got like 16,000 followers. But he was kind of comparing the hype around like current NBA prospects like Con Canupal and some of these other guys. And then he compared it to the top NBA scorers by the decades. And like the results were really surprising. He runs through, I'm not going to steal his thunder, go watch the video. But he runs through like the top scores of the 80s and the top scores of the 90s, like the whole decade. And those results were really surprising on like who those top 10 scorers were. But anyway, that gave me an idea. So, we'll see how long this goes on for, but I think it's a pretty good idea, and so I'll stick with it for now. It may be a reoccurring segment, but for those of you on YouTube, I'm going to share my screen. What you're going to see here is a spreadsheet. I know, a spreadsheet, but I wanted to look at the top 100 prospects of each year, kind of looking back and see, okay, the prospect hype, Connor Griffin, over time, give it 20 years or so, right? 10, 15, 20 years, I think is fair. How did these guys age? Just so happens 20 years ago was 2006. 2006 was the first year I can really remember buying a pack of baseball cards with my own money. And even back then in 2006, I believe a pack of Topps cards was like $7. Maybe $5. Maybe $5 a pack. Oh, that was Topps Chrome. For a paper pack, it was like $1. But I remember Topps Chrome, I think, were like five or maybe those Pokemon cards that were $7. I didn't really get a lot of Topps Chrome as a kid. I would get the dollar pack, but that was from 7-Eleven, so I think they upcharged you to $3. I'm getting on a tangent here, and what's important is we're going to look back at each year's top 100 prospects according to Baseball America and kind of compare how they did over time. How are we going to score them? As of right now, it's purely arbitrary. I started to just highlight like good players, and then I realized, come on, Dan, you know what I'm saying? You're a data scientist. We can do better than that. Again, this is still not good at all, so no one judge me on this. Very, very arbitrary. I have bad, good, great, and okay. How do you become bad? A great way to become bad is to never play in the major leagues. If your highest level is high A ball, you're bad. If your highest level is triple A ball, you're bad. Now, I'm saying this as a guy, I didn't make my middle school baseball team, okay? But then again, I started playing baseball when I was trying out for the baseball team in middle school. Turns out these kids were playing AAU. I never had a chance, and the coaches let me know that. However, I digress. We're going to look at who is bad out of this class. Really not too bad. Most guys out of the top 100 make it to the majors, which is good to see, right? Those guys do know what they're talking about. Wow, 2003 to 2015. Adam Miller, AAA grinder. Respect. Would actually love to talk about your experience. That is massive respect. Great. Again, purely arbitrary, but you can see some names on this list. Justin Verlander, Matt Cain, Prince Fielder, Ryan Zimmerman, Nick Markakis, Markakis. I always say his name wrong. John Lester, Troy Tulowitzki, Jonathan Papelbon. You see it. I think, 15 there? We have 15 that were great. Let's look at great and good. Let's just look at good real quick. Again, very arbitrary. About 14 there, so 29. Out of this 100, I say 29 were great or good. Howie Kendrick. I'm not sure how he got on there. Regardless, we'll count it. 29 were great or good. I'm sure I'm missing some. And to put myself on the spot, I'll run through the okays. So if anyone on here you think should be good or great and I miss them and I'm stupid, let me know. I'm sure I am. Please let me know. I'm scrolling fast for a reason. Right, but overall, what was that? 20, 40, 29? Okay, so we can say 25%. They're 25% right on their top 100. So if you were to just blindly collect every single top 100 Baseball America prospect, 25% of them would maybe pay off. I'm sure there's a much better way to analyze this with, card prices and their Bowman Chrome first and how it appreciates in value. I already have a job where I do this. Right, this is a hobby. It's not a 9 to 5. I will put in work, but once it becomes too much work, right, it's not fun for anybody. So we'll say 25% there. I will possibly start a grading scale. This won't be the end of this. But I kind of wanted to look at that. And it was honestly a little bit more than I thought. I thought it would be more closer to the 10 or 15%. So we'll give it 29%. It's easy because it's out of 100. No one has to do math. I mean, who does math anymore with ChatGPT and calculators? No, math is still important. That was it for my segment today on Hobby Talk. Yeah. Last thing for today before we go on to, I do have something else for Kobe Mayo Corner. I know we just talked about it yesterday. But no, card show feedback. So far I've gotten a couple DMs on Instagram, and it's just been overwhelmingly positive feedback. That encouragement is really great to hear. Another reason why I keep putting out content. I do want to balance my output and burnout. Like I said, I have a full-time job. This is a hobby, along with playing in the band. And I just love being outside and playing sports. So it's a little cold, so I have a little bit more time. But no, like I said, once this stops being fun, I don't think it's a hobby that's worth pursuing. But at the same time, I plan on putting in the effort to make this quality. And hopefully that intro video was quality. All right, last thing today on episode 4. Sorry for that pause. We have the Kobe Mayo Corner. He's my favorite player. He is my only PC. You cannot PC them all, although we'd like to. Kobe Mayo is my one PC. The only rookie card I look to collect every single one of. I've done a pretty good job of it. People have come up to me talking about Kobe Mayo now, which is cool, and I'm always ready to defend him or talk about trade talk. But recently, someone brought to my attention one of the reasons why maybe they don't like Kobe Mayo as much. He was talking about the push against the White Sox. So those of you who are not familiar, I'm going to play it for you. This is from the MLB Playing Time video.
Not very hard.
Yeah. So he gets caught. Let me get some context here.
Whoever.
Okay. He gets caught on a rundown in between first and second. If I remember correctly, it was a weird play. It wasn't necessarily his fault. He got caught a little flat-footed. Look, I don't know anybody out there played sports, maybe makes a dumb play, right? Or better yet, at work. You ever do something stupid at work? It's just something stupid he did, all right? He kind of was trying to make a play. There was no play to be made. I respect the hustle in a way, but I guess people really thought he was a jackass and an asshole for this. To me, if there's nothing someone can hate on you for, this was just like one thing to hate on. But anyway,
See who he runs into. He runs into Vargas, not very hard.
and that push at the end there, I mean, the guy was staying in his way. He was just trying to get back to his dugout. He knew he was out. I think it's a nothing burger, in my opinion. In my honest opinion. Now, again, I might be biased because I do own a game-used Kobe Mayo bat. I meant to show this last time for the first installment of the Kobe Mayo Corner. So I am extremely biased. Who cares about the White Sox anyway? That's it for the Kobe Mayo Corner. It was just it's a mistake at work. He did some stupid shit. We've all done it before. We'll all do it again. If that's the worst, right? That's the worst thing someone can say to me about Kobe Mayo. We'll take it. Still to the moon. Still collect his stuff. I still think there is a huge, very, very high ceiling, I should say, for Kobe Mayo. That's going to do it for episode 4 of the Sportsman Dan Show. Thank you, everybody who's listened and tuned in. If you're still watching, I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to put out more content and hopefully keep getting better at this. So I appreciate all y'all out there.